Unbelievable. This is what you want to see, a young team.
This is what it looks like when the impossible becomes real. But to understand how we got here, we have to go back to where it started. Down 3 in game 1, 30 seconds left, and Wembanayama has the ball.
Playoff. Spurs got numbers hungry down behind the plate. 5 on 4. Wemby's going to pull a deep 3.
Oh my goodness. A logo shot.
Victor Wembanyama hit a logo 3 in transition to tie the game. A 7'6" center hitting a shot from the logo from the same spot that Curry once did against the same team. The Spurs had no business winning that game, but Wemby had other plans. 41 points, 24 rebounds, 3 blocks against the best team in the NBA in his first ever conference finals.
Wembanyama, I think he's going to go. From midcourt.
Hey, LeBron, we're all good.
Michael Jordan was eliminated in the first round in his first 3 playoffs appearances. LeBron James couldn't make it past the second round. Kobe Bryant wasn't even a starter. And yet, here we have Wemby leading his team to a finals appearance. We've seen generational talent before, but not like this, not at this magnitude. Last season, the Spurs finished 13th in the West with Wemby injured. 1 season later, they just beat the Oklahoma City Thunder and will now be hosting Game 1 of the finals on their own home court. His impact to his team might be greater than any other player that we have ever seen in our lifetime, and you don't have to believe me for it. Wembanyama finished the series at a dominant on and off court splits of plus 62. This means that the Spurs were 62 points better with Wemby on the floor compared to when he was in the bench. And in huge contrast, Shea was a staggering minus 35 for his team. Let that sink in. And if you want to know what that stat contrast actually looks like, just look at Victor's face when the final buzzer sounded in Game 7. This 22-year-old giant pulling his jersey over his face, literally crying on the floor. Think about that. This means something to him. The weight of dragging a franchise back to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2014 in just his 3rd season. That pressure is real. That is when you realize he's not just playing for stats. He knows exactly what he is building in San Antonio. And it's not just how much he wants to win, but also the way he wants to play, an ethical brand of basketball, which is needed more than ever in today's game.
In modern basketball, we see a lot of brands of basketball that don't offer much variety in the dangers they pose to the opponents. Lots of isolation ball and sometimes kind of forced basketball, and we try to propose a brand of basketball that can be described as more old school sometimes, the Spurs way as well. So it's tactically more correct basketball, in my opinion.
For the last 2 years, every media outlet, fan, and executive said that the Oklahoma City Thunder were predestined to run the NBA. They were the #1 seed, they had a championship-ready core, and they were supposed to be the team that would start a dynasty. Everyone assumed the Spurs were still a year or 2 away from matching their firepower. By stepping onto their home floor in Game 7 and completely ending their season, Victor shattered the idea that the Thunder owned the future. He didn't wait for OKC's window to open and close. He closed it himself. But by winning this series, taking home the conference finals title, and forcing the top seed to Cancun, Victor completely broke the timeline. The conversation has completely shifted. It's not about when the Thunder are going to win a ring anymore. It's about whether anyone in the West can now stop the Spurs, who will only get better from here on unless injuries hits them. And it's not just Victor. Like I said, the Spurs are only getting better from here. This young core is growing right alongside him. The chemistry with the Aaron Fox is only going to get tighter. Think about Stephon Castle. The man is only in his 2nd year. but he's been guarding Shea this whole series and kept him under 50% efficiency in most games. Then you look at Dylan Harper. The kid has immense potential, produced exactly what they needed once Wemby was on the bench. And let's not even talk about Luke's insane block. These young players are getting championship level experience way too early, and they're responding to the call, which was a miracle when you look at what this young squad had to overcome in this series. Because let's be entirely real about the basketball we just watched. It wasn't just a physical battle, it was a war against the whistle, full of questionable calls at some points. They were aggressively holding Victor down so he couldn't jump. Shea marched his way to a ridiculous 17 free throws performance. Every single time OKC could, they resorted to the classic flopping, foul baiting, and falling to the floor on minimal contact. But to be fair, it depended on the coaching staff of each night. Social media was absolutely on fire during those games, and Tony Brothers got a lot of heat for his calls, and for good reason. But wisely, in the last 2 games of the series, the NBA didn't put him in charge, which in my opinion is not a coincidence that the Spurs won those games. Fans everywhere have grown to completely detest that style of foul baiting and referee advantage. Watching a number 1 seed rely on whistle manipulation instead of putting the ball in the hoop was making the postseason feel unwatchable. And that is when you realize Victor Wembanyama saved basketball. He saved the fans, and he saved the integrity of the game. For the last few years, the internet has complained that modern stars are just foul merchants who rely on the rules to bail them out. But Victor completely shattered that. He proved that pure hoops can still conquer manufactured gimmicks. So, the foul baiting era is on notice, and now the Spurs are heading to the finals. And he will have a golden chance to bring back this franchise from the ground to the absolute top.
To the NBA Finals.
Look at the emotion from Wemby. Unbelievable. This is what you want to see. A young team growing up on the biggest stage. Look how his teammates